So hey anime fans, the series name is What If Naruto Got Harem with Will Vandom. So let's start the series. Will felt herself drifting in a huge field of white. What was much more fascinating was this should be another fantasy. She thought, a presence despite her snapped her good faith to the real world. She had barely sufficient opportunity to enlist the shadowy diagram of a figure prior to sending off a lightning bolt towards it. Hold up. Simple there, Will. Geez. Who realized you were this brutal? Will froze. That voice. She thought. The figure materialized, and Will saw it. The spiky fair hair. The entertained demeanor all over. The 3 stubble blemish on each cheek. Naruto. Naruto oomphed as he was handled by a flying embrace. He grinned and embraced the young lady back. Excited, would you confirm or deny that you are? Goodness, no doubt, and what's with the wings? And since when were you ready to shoot lightning bolts? Will split away. She was unexpectedly aware of what she was wearing and the way that she was flying. Better believe it about that. I can't say I'm glad that you are putting your life in extreme danger out of the blue. However, I surmise I can't say you were the one to focus on. Naruto's look meandered downwards and Will followed it. That was the point at which she truly saw him. He was wearing a dark long-sleeved shirt with matching jeans. The closures were integrated with white wraps. Over his shirt was a green fire coat. This followed by was a short-sleeved long white coat that cleared down to his lower legs. The stitch was embellished by red blazes. His brow conveyed a long dark handkerchief-like piece of fabric with a metal plate in the middle. On his back was a luxuriously cut katana. Yet generally striking of all were his eyes. Naruto's old eyes were a piercing sapphire blue. These were a more blunt blue without a student. Rather, it was comprised of 6 concentric rings. Naruto, what has been going on with your eyes? Naruto moaned. Boring tale, longer clarification, he answered, causing Will a deep sense of fury and disarray. However, that doesn't make any difference. Significantly, Naruto's structure unexpectedly glimmered briefly prior to returning. Impact. Seems as though I don't have a lot of time left. Naruto, what's happening? Where are you? Sorry, Will. I don't have a lot of time left. Before that, I might want to give you something. Will could scarcely answer before she felt Naruto's lips pressed tenderly on hers. Will's eyes slid close as she felt her arms move voluntarily, folding over his neck. She couldn't have cared less, as she felt herself submerge in unadulterated joy. At long last, Naruto pulled away. I've been holding up years to rehash that. Will, Naruto's structure out of nowhere flashed once and disappeared. Pause. Will connected. Kindly don't go. Will shot up standing in her bed panting. It's absolutely impossible that might have been a fantasy. She suspected as much. What was happening? Will immediately shot up. I need to go get Yen Lin. Later. Feed Lin languidly made the way for track down her frenzied companion. Will? It resembles 1 a.m. Unfortunately, I need to address your grandma. Would she say she is alert? Is presently? Roughage Lin went to see her grandma. Who could rest through all that racket? I'm so happy you're alert, Will said. There is something I truly need to converse with you about alone. Later. I'm certain it was anything but a fantasy, Will told her after every one of the occasions. It felt excessively genuine. It was like he was truly conversing with me. Gee. Yen Lin scoured her jawline. Don't have the foggiest idea. We'll need to go to Kandrakur to find out. Might we at any point leave at the earliest opportunity? Will inquired. This is significant. Secret Leaf Village . A 12-year-old Naruto woke up from reflection. Damn. Can't really accept that truly worked. He took a gander at the clock on his bedside. 6 a.m. Well, better prepare to meet the imps I'm getting doled out. Naruto was tall for his age. His initial shinobi vocation as well as his status as a Jinchuriki has improved his actual viewpoints. Notwithstanding being 12, he glanced more around 14 or 15. Naruto murmured and got dressed, initial a dark variant of the standard leaf shinobi uniform with the closures restricted with wraps. Then, at that point, the Chunin vest over it, on his arms and legs were dark battle boots, bracers and fingerless metal moved gloves from his time in ANBU. At last, he wore the dark leaf headband alongside a long white coat with red fire plans scratched along the fixes. Over his back he threw an edge of unadulterated white silver. Naruto he shifted focus over to one side of his main room inside the Namake's house. There on the table was an image of him and quite a while back, when he was unintentionally abandoned in her aspect. Naruto got the image and stroked the substance of will. At last he moaned and put down the image and took out a note of who he was to be relegated. He read through it and raised an eyebrow. Indeed, all things considered, the Hyuga main successor, Itachi's imp, as well as the Nara's future group head, this'll be fascinating. He immediately stashed the note, should get rolling. He contemplated internally bluntly. Naruto made a half-slam seal and vanished in a yellow blaze. His last considerations were, Itachi, Fugaku teacher, both of you owe me no doubt, Leaf Town Shinobi Foundation, 7 a.m. Today you have begun down the genuine way of becoming shinobi of the Leaf Town. Nonetheless, your process is not even close to finished. You should now figure out how to conquer snags in your manner. Presently I will declare your Genin crews and your teacher, Group 1. Group 7 is Sasuke Uchiha, Hinata Hyuga. The two companions high-fived one another, and Shikamaru Nara. There was a mumbled inconvenient from the dozing Nara. Your Jonin master will be Naruto Namake's. At that definite second the screen entryway slid open. Exactly on schedule. Not surprisingly Naruto. There was a laugh followed by a ridiculously youthful voice. Why thank you Irika. I do attempt. Each of the three heads went to see an irrationally young man at the entryway. He seemed to be your ordinary Jonin with the exception of a couple of unusual blurred blue eyes comprised of a progression of concentric circles, and the odd hair like blemishes on his cheeks. His eyes wandered across the room falling momentarily in the three colleagues. At long last he spoke. Group 7 if it's not too much trouble. Meet me at preparing ground 7 out of 15 minutes. With that he vanished instantly of yellow. Okay. My adorable little Genin. Naruto grinned in entertainment when each of them three jerked. For what reason don't we begin with presentations? Let me know a tad about yourselves. Things you like and disdain, dreams for the future and side interests. Every one of the three positioned their heads in disarray. How about you tell us, teacher, just to see what we ought to say? Sasuke proposed. Indeed. Okay. I surmise I'm Naruto Namake's. I like ramen, preparing, and my companions. I disdain debase tricksters and sitting tight for ramen to heat up. My side interests are working with seals, preparing and drinking purpose with my companions, and my fantasy for what's in store is, the youthful master looked towards the Hokage landmark with a little grin, is to become Hokage and safeguard my town and its kin. He turned around to see his three youthful charges gazing at him. Hinata lifted her hand. Indeed, Hinata? Teacher, how old would you say you are? Naruto grinned. Me? I just turned 12 last October. The three Genins saw him puzzled. He's as old as us. Was the consolidated thoroughly considered running their heads. Pause, Sasuke shouted out. My sibling likes to let me know accounts of his time in ANBU. One story was about his skipper, who was a lot more youthful than him and made ANBU at age 6. Did you end up knowing him? This made Naruto laugh. Ah, indeed, little Itachi, a miscreant on the off chance that I'd at any point saw one. Sasuke squinted inconsistently, hearing Itachi depicted as everything except completely relaxed. To cut to the chase, yes, I knew Itachi in ANBU. I likewise know whom you are discussing. Truly? Who? Why, that would be me, Naruto grinned. Discussing which, how is Fugaka nowadays? Sasuke squinted. You know father? Naruto gestured. Fugaku is a decent man. He saved my life when I was more youthful, an obligation which I have not, and most likely never will, completely reimbursed. Yet enough about me, we should catch wind of you folks. Left to right, beginning with Pineapple Head. Problematic, Shikamaru mumbled while the two his colleagues giggled. I'm Shikamaru Nara. I like mists and shogi. I disdain anything irksome. My side interests are dozing, cloud watching, and playing shogi. My fantasy for what's in store is to become chunin, and wed a young lady who's not excessively irksome, have one kid and one young lady, resign at 50 then, at that point, kick the bucket before my significant other does. This youngster's lazier than Shikaku, on the off chance that that is even conceivable. Naruto thought with a perspiration drop. Pale eyes, you're next. I'm Hinata Hyuga. I like my companions and preparing. I disdain the confined bird seal and my family's predominance complex. My leisure activities are spending time with my companion and preparing my taijutsu. My fantasy for what's in store is to turn into the Hyuga faction head and eliminate the confined bird seal. A praiseworthy objective. Naruto contemplated internally. Last up, duck but kid. Sasuke shot a chuckling Hinata and his new teacher the Uchiha passing glare TM. I'm Sasuke Uchiha. I like my companions, family, and preparing. I disdain pompous individuals and fangirls. My leisure activities are preparing and spending time with my companions. My fantasy is to turn into an ANBU chief outperforming my elder sibling. Very much like you said, Itachi, youngster gets stirred up way too without any problem. Okay. Seems as though my group is genuinely adjusted. Presently, return home, get some rest, and tomorrow you have your genin test. Each of the three gazed at him. Blunder, teacher? Hinata said uncertainly. We previously took our genin test. Gracious that. Naruto waved his hand in excusal. That was only a primer, to see who had a snowball's possibility becoming genin. The young man took a gander at all of them. Return home, get a few rest and a lot of food. Meet me here tomorrow at 9 a.m. sharp. With that, he vanished in a yellow glimmer. Uchiha compound later . I'm home, Sasuke called as he made the way for his home. Hi, Sasuke. Makoto approached and gave him an embrace. Hi, child. Fugaku gazed upward and grinned at his most youthful child. How was today? Extraordinary. I got to meet my new teacher. Goodness, you don't sound excessively cheerful. A voice came from the entryway. Sasuke went to see Itachi remaining in his Anbu uniform. Weasel Veil disposed of. Howdy, older sibling, and no doubt, our master is somewhat youthful. However, he says he knows you and father. Goodness, truly? Fugaku raised an eyebrow from the kitchen table. What's his name? It's Naruto Namikaze. Sasuke was shocked when he saw the two of them freeze. There was a snapshot of quietness before they started to laugh. What? Sasuke requested. Itachi. I thought you said he would have rather not turned into a Jonin master. That is everything he said to me. Yet knowing Senpai the Hokage presumably needed to compromise his ramen. Once more, Fugaku laughed. Checks out. So you folks know him? Sasuke asked in disarray. Indeed, Fugaku gestured. Naruto is a close buddy of mine, and Itachi's chief from his Anbu days. A wonder in the event that there at any point was one. Indeed, he had an incredible fan club, as well, significantly greater than yours. Sasuke frowned at the notice of his fans. Then, at that point, he heard his mother call. Okay, sufficient conflict stories. Sasuke. Prepare changed and get for supper. Indeed, mum. Kandrakar, the following day . Is it true or not that you are certain you believe should do this, Will? A world without a heart is consistently a hazardous spot. For that reason this one was isolated from the limitless aspects. Indeed, I'm certain I want to see him. Will took a gander at the entrance thoughtfully. Then, at that point, remorsefully, we should have the heart. In the event that something were to turn out badly here, Will gestured and gave the core of Kandrakar to the prophet. Consequently, he gave her an ornament with a little sapphire dangling from it. I have permeated this jewel with abilities. It will empower you to change if necessary, and it will permit you to open an entrance, just a single time, back to Kandrakar. Much thanks to you, prophet. Will dunked her head in appreciation. She took a gander at the gateway. I'm coming, Naruto. Preparing ground 7 later . Sasuke was quick to show up at the preparation ground. A few minutes after the fact, Hinata showed up. 5 minutes subsequently, Shikamaru showed up to see Hinata's nose in a book and Sasuke inactively whirling a kunai. He put himself down to snooze off at precisely 9 a.m. There was a glimmer of light. Every one of the 3 genin went to see their master remaining before them. On his belt were hanging 2 silver chimes. Great, it seems as though you're all on time. Naruto set a morning timer on the stone. Okay. It's set for early afternoon. That passes on every one of you 3 hours to each endeavor to get a ringer. He signaled at the silver articles hanging from his belt. Blunder, master? Hinata said uncertainly. There are just 2 ringers. Exceptionally keen, Hinata. Naruto gestured with endorsement. Whoever doesn't get a ringer will get attached to that post. He demonstrated to one of the 3 wooden posts. And whoever falls flat will be sent back to the foundation. Naruto glanced around at the dazed faces. Recall this, since you get a chime doesn't be guaranteed to mean you'll pass. And on the grounds that you don't get a chime, doesn't be guaranteed to mean you'll fizzle. I will pass judgment on you on your capacities, information, and how you handle battle circumstances. He took a gander at each of the 3 genin and added, another thing, don't anticipate passing on the off chance that you don't come at me with the expectation to kill. He looked between the decided faces and searched briefly. Start. There were 3 glimmers as the genin vanished into the woodland. Outside the leaf village . Will moaned, attempting to get to her feet. She was in a timberland someplace. What was the deal? Is this expected to be the basic countries? Anything that she was going to think next was removed as a few concealed men showed up before her. Who are you and what is your business here? One man inquired. I will recollected what the mage had said. It has been more than 100 years since any of us has been there. Yet deciding from his headband you ought to request the Hokage of the secret leaf town. He will likely be aware. I'm holding off on saying until I know who you individuals are. We are ANBU of the Leaf. Presently I will ask in the future, who are you, and what is your business here? Leaf, trusting that implies the secret Leaf town. I am Will Vandom. I'm here to see the Hokage. Will expressed, attempting to sound sure. What is your business with Master Hokage? I want his assistance searching for somebody. Please, you need to take me to him. The concealed men took a gander at one another. Then their chief gestured. Great, we will take you to see the Hokage. Will murmured with alleviation. Well, that went better compared to I thought. Preparing ground 7 later . Naruto shuffled a tri-pronged kunai with his right pointer. The test had gone as he had expected up until this point. Sasuke had been quick to go after him. A couple of decision words had left the youthful Uchiha shouting in rage. Causing Naruto a deep sense of entertainment, the youthful Jonin had taken care of the kid. Then, at that point, came Hinata. She endured longer because of her insight and delicate clench hand. Yet when constrained on edge, she immediately lost ground to Naruto. Shikamaru still can't seem to be seen. With 1 hour left, Naruto was beginning to contemplate whether they would pull this off. Okay, folks, there is a deeper significance to this test. We need to cooperate to get the chimes. How would you figure that? Sasuke requested. Consider it, this person's a Jonin and an ex-Anbu chief no less. Nobody expects a new genin out of the Institute to beat him. This test is intended, as far as we're concerned, to cooperate. Sasuke and Hinata took a gander at one another and gestured. Okay. Shika. Hinata said, "What's the blueprint?" Naruto was remaining in the clearing when he heard a stir behind him. Out of nowhere, Hinata emerged, charging at maximum speed at him. Naruto got the kunai he was spinning by the handle and ready to jump to the hostile when his faculties unexpectedly shivered. He jumped back with perfect timing for a fireball to attack his positions. That was enough for Hinata to squeeze her assault on Naruto. There was a haze of developments as Hinata drew in her teacher in taijutsu. Naruto jumped in reverse and ready to move to long reach when he recognized another fireball coming at him. With an easygoing wave, Naruto consumed the jutsu. Indeed, that is 2 of them. However, what about, out of nowhere, he froze. Shadow ownership achievement, a voice droned behind him. Sasuke pushed ahead to get a ringer, just for Naruto to scatter in an impact of smoke. After a second, prior to anybody totally enrolled, Naruto vanished in an impact of smoke. After a second, there was a ringing sound somewhere far off. Everybody looked down when they heard it. There was a solitary applauding sound. Everybody went to see Naruto resting up against a dark block of stone smiling. "Congrats, you pass." "What?" Each of them 3 shouted out. Getting the chime wasn't the genuine goal of the test. There was another significance, and your companion Shikamaru had the option to sort it out. Collaboration, Shikamaru expressed. Precisely, Naruto gestured. Collaboration is fundamental for a shinobi. For what reason do you assume you were completely placed in 3-man groups? Every one of you had the option to work perfectly together. Truly, I haven't seen collaboration that extraordinary from New Genin in quite a while. Naruto smiled at the 3 of them. All of you pass decisively. Naruto trusted that the fervor will subside prior to shouting out. Presently tune in up. Before we leave, there would one say one is more thing I really want to tell you. He tapped the dark stone close to him. This stone is a commemoration to the legends of our town. Legends who were killed on the line of obligation. Quickly, the 3 genins' countenances took on a more serious maxim. We who defy the norms only junk. However, the people who forsake their friends are surprisingly more dreadful than that. Recall those words. Naruto took a gander at the substance of all of the genin. Okay, enough with that. For what reason don't I treat you all to lunch? Hokage's office Will remained before an elderly person wearing a red and white robe. So, the man said, you mentioned to see me, yet you are clearly not from any place around this land since you obviously have hardly any familiarity with it, which makes one wonder of who are you and what are you doing here? Will moaned. I am Will Vandom, and I'm the head of the 5 gatekeepers of the boundless aspects. I have control over Core, one of the 5 powers of the core of Kandrakar. It isn't with me at the present time, yet I have this jewelry as a substitute. Will pointed. The Hokage squinted briefly, seeing her like she was insane. I see. And what are you doing here? I'm searching for somebody really. A kid named Naruto Namikaze. The Hokage solidified. Gatekeeper or not. How did this young lady have some familiarity with Naruto? For what reason do you need him? There was a sharp edge in his voice. I simply have to see him. Please, he's not hurt, is he? Will inclined forward. A slight edge of frenzy crawled into her voice. No, he's fine. So she hasn't arrived to hurt him. I surmise I could try it out. And you. Get Naruto Namikaze in my office. Indeed, Ruler Hokage equals Ichiraku ramen equals. The three genin watched in wonder as Naruto gobbled up his sixth bowl of ramen. Where does he put everything? They thought as one. Naruto threw the bowl down with a click and took a gander at the three genin. Okay, time to give you my assessment. Sasuke, I'll begin with you. Your ninjutsu is very great and your taijutsu is higher than normal. In any case, you're excessively hot-headed. Sasuke shot his chuckling partners the Uchiha passing glare TM. Subsequently, you tend rush carelessly into a battle automatically. We'll have to chip away at that. Naruto took a gander at the Hyuga young lady. Hinata, your taijutsu is awesome out of all the institute, and your Byakugan furnishes you with an inconceivable benefit. In any case, you come up short on legitimate safeguard and are likewise more powerless against when assaults, something we'll need to chip away at. At last, he took a gander at the last colleague and moaned, Shikamaru, you're more astute than any genin I've at any point run over. Notwithstanding, I've seen additional life from a block facade. Shikamaru mumbled, problematic, while his colleagues chuckled. Pay attention to me cautiously. Sluggishness is an extravagance you can't manage the cost of on mission. Your dad was something similar, however languid as an old sack of prunes when he seemed to be off the clock. Yet when on missions, he was totally engaged. Relaxing can undoubtedly cost you the outcome of a mission, and even Naruto's eyes meandered to Hinata and Sasuke. The existence of a colleague? Do you get it? Shikamaru gestured, truly, great. Naruto took a gander at each of them three. Report to preparing ground 7 at 6 a.m. sharp. I'll give you your preparation plans then. Naruto looked as his genin took off. There was a glimmer of dark, and an ANBU showed up close to him. Senpai, Master Hokage needs to see you. Will tapped her foot eagerly. It had been 15 minutes since the Hokage had sent his ANBU to find Naruto. 100 situations were going through her mind. Consider the possibility that he was occupied. Imagine a scenario where he would have rather not seen her. Imagine a scenario where it wasn't him in her fantasy. Imagine a scenario where he previously had another person. What if Will was removed when the way to the Hokage's office pummeled open, trailed by a natural voice? In this way, elderly person, what's the big? Naruto followed off when his eyes locked onto the figure remaining before the Hokage's work area. Naruto, the Hokage started. This is Will Vandom. She says she's a watchman of certain sorts, and came here Lu. The Hokage was cut off as Naruto out of nowhere streaked forward and cleared Will into a profound kiss. I see both of you know one another, he remarked drily. After about a moment of warmed kissing, the couple at last fell to pieces, wheezing for air. Will, how'd you arrive? Naruto relaxed. A few companions of mine opened a one-time entryway for me. Will signaled at the jewelry. A few companions, Naruto murmured. The Hokage made a sound as if to speak, making Naruto scowl at him. Elderly person, you're destroying the occasion. Indeed, my conciliatory sentiments, Naruto, however I might want to know what's happening. Yet from what I expect, this is the woman you referenced to have met during your awe adventures several years back. Yep, elderly person. This is Wilhelmina Vandom. However, she leaned towards Will. Naruto remedied rapidly, seeing Will's glare. Will then, at that point, the Hokage grinned at the young lady. Welcome to the secret leaf town. I'm Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage. It's an honor, sir, Naruto jeered. He's simply an evaporated old deviant. And don't figure I don't have the foggiest idea where you stash pervy sage's filth, elderly person. I have no clue about what that is, no joke, the Hokage said honestly, excessively guiltlessly. Well, Will, how about you educate us regarding yourself? So Will did, telling the tale of how they had moved from Fadden Slopes, how she met the young ladies and turned into a gatekeeper, the fights to liberate Meridian from the holds of ruler Phobos, the fights against Nerissa, including the disclosure of core, how it was a couple of days after the last fight against Master Cedric that Naruto had the option to reach her, how she had headed out to Kandrakar to request that they search for him, how the prophet had said that she probably won't have the option to return and how she couldn't have cared less. Toward the finish of the story, Naruto had one hand folded over the young lady's midsection, and the Hokage was grinning warmly, seeing his substitute grandson content with another lady. No doubt about it, that is essentially it. Goodness, that sure is something. Naruto took a gander at her warmly. Until further notice, nonetheless, I believe it's ideal in the event that we stay quiet about this watchman thing. I don't think you maintain that everybody in the town should be familiar with you. So believe I should go underground or something? Will blew a tuft of hair up, bringing about an electric flow going through her hair. As a matter of fact, I feel that you ought to become ninja. What? Will asked in disarray. All she could think of were those Japanese professional killers in dark suits waving shurikens around. Indeed, this is a ninja town, Naruto provoked up. A large portion of us here are ninjas, me included. Stand by you? Will checked him. However, you seem as though a ninja out. Well, what do ninjas resemble? You know, dark covers and suits, doing everything like waving blades around. Both Naruto and the Hokage gazed in entertainment. Will, your natural dreams don't have a lot of legitimacy against genuine ninja here. Without a doubt, as a ninja you will learn ninjutsu, jinjutsu, and taijutsu in addition to other things. The main issue is that you can't utilize chakra. Indeed she can, Naruto said. I've seen them myself, they're simply lethargic. All it needs is some legitimate siphoning, which I can do. Just issue is who to show her. I have a genin group. I'll consider somebody meanwhile. She looks drained. Perhaps you ought to bring her back home. Naruto gestured. Will do. Equals at the Namikaze preparing ground equals. Will expanded like a fish. She was remaining on a field of grass. Lining it was a sparkling blue lake encompassed by a portion of prairie prior to merging into thick lush backwoods. On the south side of the lake was a wonderful nursery, encompassing a marble white house. All right. WoW doesn't start to cover it at the present time. Naruto folded an arm over her neck. I'm happy you support. He drove her through the chateau's preparation ground. This is the preparation ground presently. We'll see what we can do about your chakra loops. If it's not too much trouble, lift up your shirt. Will out of nowhere flushed a dazzling red. What? Just to your stomach, Will. Naruto chuckled in entertainment. Gracious, right? Will heaved, blowing her hair, attempting to disguise the shame. That's what I knew. Naruto giggled to fight off shame. Will immediately lifted her shirt up to simply underneath her chest line. Naruto squeezed his hands tenderly on her stomach, making Will shudder at the warm touch. His hands started to gleam blue as he siphoned a tad bit of his chakra through his arm and into her. It was like somebody had hit a light change to a power matrix not utilized in years. The normal stores in her body glinted prior to moving through the mass of chakra pathways, enacting what had laid lethargic for every last bit of her life. Will wheezed, feeling her own energy increment 10 times, much more than her watchman structure. Warm energy flowed through her body. Naruto immediately started to deal with tenderly opening every one of the 361 chakra focuses along the body. Your chakra pathways are solid, yet your stores are just about the size of a new genin, most likely on the grounds that you haven't been utilizing any chakra for your entire life. However, typically you'd have the chakra limit of a regular citizen or foundation understudy, best case scenario. This is presumably in light of the fact that you've been tossing lightning bolts around for as long as year or somewhere in the vicinity. Naruto eliminated his hand from her stomach, allowing the shine to evaporate. He saw Will's completely confounded articulation and murmured, "Let me make sense of Chakra is the energy of each and every living being in this world. It is the embellishment of the actual present in each cell of the body and the profound energy acquired from exercise and experience. Once formed, it tends to be diverted through the chakra circulatory framework, which is to chakra as the customary circulatory framework is to blood, to any of the 361 chakra focuses in the body. Hold up, hold up, hold up, pause. Will took a gander at Naruto suspiciously, breathing out fire, making deceptions, strolling on water. Those among the most fundamental of capacities. Amazing. Will squinted. This will take some becoming accustomed to. Naruto gazed toward the sky, estimating the place of the sun. He assessed that it was around 2 p.m. He thought back to Will and inquired, "Could you at any point do that changing thing into a watchman?" Will gestured, "Better believe it, why? I need to find out how strong you are, so we're turning out to fight. And since we're as of now at the preparation grounds, as of now." Naruto, I don't have any idea. Will looked unsure. My control isn't awesome. Consider the possibility that I unintentionally hurt you. Naruto sneered. Trust me, Will. Simply stress over yourself on this one. Gracious. Okay. Will got a handle on her neckband. The diamond started to gleam a light blue tone. Core! A few hours after the fact found Will on the ground moaning, while Naruto stooped next to her. Not a spot of residue nor scratch on him. At first Will had stayed away from additional strong assaults. Yet after seeing the blonde Jonin figure out how to dodge her hits no sweat, she started increasing her assaults until all her experience, expertise, and power was centered around just stirring things up around town kid. Do the trick to say it didn't take her long to be exhausted. Are you okay? He put a concerned hand on her temple. Will moaned once more. How for the sake of all that is blessed would you say you are as yet standing? Naruto laughed in help. I'm a prepared shinobi. It'll take much more than that to bring me down. The sun had previously plunged beneath the skyline, painting the sky a dim blue tone. The moon was at that point noticeable, sparkling over the lake. Naruto. Well, what precisely would we say we are? Sorry. Naruto peered down at her confounded. I mean, relationship-wise, what are we? Goodness, well. Naruto grinned at her. What might you maintain that we should be? All things considered, I mean, I've never truly had a beau, so I'm not entirely certain what to. Will followed off as Naruto inclined down until his face was just an inch from hers. Anything is possible. He murmured and kissed her tenderly. Will murmured as she let the sentiments wash over her. At long last, Naruto reclined up once more. We ought to get moving. He checked the obscuring sky out. Will moaned and flinched as she attempted to get her sensitive muscles to move. The youthful Jonin watched her briefly prior to murmuring and scooping her up marriage style. The gatekeeper's face quickly became red. What's going on with you? Taking you to your room, Naruto said nonchalantly. You can take your pick. I have bounty. What about your room? What? My room? Naruto gave Will a gaze. In fact, despite the fact that you're not a grown-up yet, I don't know whether that is legal. Naruto. Will made a swipe at his arm. So not what I implied. Naruto chuckled. I understand what you mean, geez. What do you mean you're a grown-up? I'm 4 years more established than you. At the point when you're a shinobi, you're lawfully viewed as a grown-up. Nonetheless, you are as yet a non-military personnel who isn't yet 18. In this way making me a grown-up and you not. Will moped at Naruto's thinking. Namikaze's house night equals. The youthful Jonin conveyed the young lady to a huge main room. Really, it was practically the size of her whole loft level consolidated, sufficiently bright, and designed with numerous things, including a gem ceiling fixture. Naruto put Will down on the huge extra-large bed. Indeed. We are right here. Did you carry anything with you? Just a difference in garments and a bunch of nightwear. They're all in my rucksack. I assume I left it in the preparation grounds. Naruto gestured and disappeared with a yellow glimmer. After a second, he returned conveying Will's rucksack. Here you go. Naruto unloaded the knapsack on the bed next to. Might you at any point leave, please, so I can change? Indeed, ma'am. Naruto sneered and ventured rapidly out of the swinging doors. Will moaned and whimpered as she constrained her muscles to move barely enough so she could change into her nightgown. I'm respectable, Will called. Naruto opened the entryway. He was wearing only a couple of orange fighters, which provided Will with an extremely clear perspective on his chest and arms. The muscles conditioned and well-developed following decades since early on of shinobi profession. Will battled to battle down the developing become flushed. Hungry? Will shook her head. Simply sore and tired. You've quite recently utilized chakra. Interestingly, that is the reason I had you battle, to get your body accustomed to it. In the event that I hadn't, you'd feel more awful come tomorrow. Now that the chakra's been coordinated into your cells, you'll get up in the first part of the day feeling revived. I trust so. Will covered under the cover. She felt Naruto rests close to her. Agreeable, or could you like me to utilize another room? No, Will said excessively rapidly. Naruto snickered. Good night, Will. The following morning . Consistent with Naruto's words, Will got up the following daytime feeling improved than she'd felt indeed ever. She focused to her left side where Naruto should be the previous evening. The sheet had been newly made, and on top of it were a heap of books with a note on top of it. Will took a gander at the note. It was Naruto's penmanship. She remembered it from the rich sacred text he used to compose with. Will, I put a seal on you the previous evening that would permit you to comprehend our composition. Please accept my apologies, I was unable to keep close by. Yet I truly do have a group of genin to deal with. I've put a few books on the bed for you that can kick you off with your shinobi preparing. I'll acquaint you with your guide this midday who will acquaint you with the rudiments of shinobi. Go ahead and utilize the library if whatever else is required. Love, Naruto. P.S. Breakfast is on the kitchen table in the event that you need it. Trust you like bacon omelets with hashtans. There are additionally some garments in the closet for you. Will grinned. Something she adored about Naruto was that he was so circumspect. She took a gander at the clock on her bedstand. 9 a.m. She thought, should get some food. Preparing ground 3 hours earlier . You look terribly blissful today, teacher. Isn't that right? Naruto smiled. He was really cheerful. Should be fervor. In any case, happy you're all here. The explanation I requested that you come early is so we can get to the Hokage pinnacle to scrap out the great missions, and not be loaded down with something like getting Tora. Who's Tora? The fire daimyo's feline, Naruto said with a frown. He recalled when he had coincidentally chipped in himself for the task. The condemned succubus had driven him on a wild pursuit for about 30 minutes all through the town, before Naruto got exhausted. A couple of very much positioned breeze jutsus and 2 or 3 Raisengans later, and the feline was in his arms, groveling with dread. Get the job done to say. It turned into significantly more quiet around our young Jinchuriki. What's so terrible about a feline? Hinata pondered. Definitely, Sasuke gestured. I bet we could deal with the mission in the blink of an eye. A thought hit Naruto and he smiled evilly. Goodness truly? Okay. I surmise we will take the mission all things considered. 1 hour later . Naruto sat on the Hokage landmark, nonchalantly tasting tea as he watched the 3 genin participated in a frantic pursuit with Tora, the feline. He didn't fault their disappointment. As far as unadulterated speed, the little bugger from Damnation could keep Fellow's little clone honest. Don't you have a genin group to care for? Naruto went to see a jonin with silver hair that caught in extraordinary mass. His whole face was covered, save for his right eye. His face was covered in an orange book. Senpai. Naruto grinned. What brings you here? Gracious, simply meandering, Kakashi waved off. You haven't addressed my inquiry. Naruto silently pointed at where Tora was dodging a hail of kunai from the irritated Uchiha. Kakashi raised a solitary eye. You as of now make them catch Tora on their most memorable day? Naruto shrugged. They requested it. I will kill you. You evil presence produce. Fire style. Fireball jutsu. Naruto murmured. Better get rolling before they kill the feline. A couple of moments later . Naruto and his group remained in the Hokage's office. All the colleagues were shooting frowns at Naruto, or all the more explicitly, the little devil murmuring in his arms. You realized that planned to occur? Sasuke blamed. I did. Naruto gestured. Consider it an example to think next time before you begin flapping your gums. Every one of the three individuals glared blades at him. Mission Catch Tora is a triumph. Naruto unloaded the unfortunate animal into the larger-than-usual woman's arms. The lady started to continue to cover the vehicle to death. Every one of the individuals from Group 7 jumped. They nearly felt frustrated about the feline. Nearly, could you like another mission? Group 7? In any case, Naruto shook his head. One everyday elderly person, I want to take them preparing. He went to them. Well, group to preparing ground 7 == preparing ground 7 later ==. Okay. My cronies? Naruto grinned as the three genin jerked. Today is our most memorable day of preparing together. I will begin it by acquainting you with the Namikaze Uzumaki preparing system from Damnation. Each of the three genin swallowed. This didn't sound great. First we get going with a light run around the town. Each of them three murmured with help. It didn't sound that terrible. Later ==. Light run my butt. Sasuke hollered. Damn you, teacher. Shikamaru's snarl was suppressed by the way that his face was established in the ground. I can't feel my legs, Hinata moaned. You three gripe excessively, Naruto said, turning into the less than desirable finish of the Uchiha passing Glare TM and two others that came shockingly close. He proceeded unbidden. I made you run 5 laps. A companion of mine would have made you run 2 times that, some conveying rocks. Presently come here, you'll find the subsequent stage fascinating. The genin stumbled to their teacher, who took out 3 pieces of paper. This will show me your essential fondness, so I know which course to head you folks. Each shinobi has a liking to at least one of the 5 fundamental components: wind, water, fire, earth, and lightning. Channel some chakra to this paper and the response will be shown. Fire consumes the paper, wind cuts it, water drenches it. Earth will make it go to residue, and lightning will fold it. Sasuke, you go first. However, I can as of now think about what it will be. Sasuke held the paper up so anyone might be able to see. One portion of the paper consumed, as Naruto expected. Nonetheless, he was shocked when the other half crinkled pointedly. Fire and lightning, intriguing combo, Hinata straightaway. Naruto's eyes extended when Hinata's paper split pointedly in 2. Then the 2 sides splashed wet. Water and wind, a somewhat valuable component, particularly when coordinated with your taijutsu style. Shikamaru, you're last. Naruto nearly expanded when Shikamaru's divided in half before the 2 sides disintegrated. Damn, 2-fold affinities for every one of them. Earth and twist, indeed, it seems as though all of you have double affinities, unimaginably uncommon for genins. Don't get a big head, however, it just means you'll need to really buckle down, dominating your affinities. The genins noticeably collapsed. Naruto master. Hinata aroused up. What is your fondness? Naruto sneered and took out another slip. To the genin's shock and shock, Naruto's slip split into 6 sections. 1 consumed, 1 crinkled, 1 disintegrated, and 1 doused. To their enormous shock, the last 2 pieces shined splendidly. while the other turned completely dark. An exceptionally unique condition upon entering the world permits me to control every one of the 5 of the components, and the 2 general components yin and yang. Naruto tapped the lower part of his right eye. All the genins gazed at the dull blue ringed eyes. They'd never took a lot of notice in their teacher's unusual eyes. What do those 2 components do? Shikamaru asked, his advantage livened for once. No thought, Naruto deadpanned, making the genins sweat drop. Never truly explored different avenues regarding it. So are you going to show us our affinities? Sasuke asked, invigorated. A long time before I do that, you all should work on your chakra control, or you could gamble with exploding yourselves or something. Each of the 3 swallowed. To get going, I'll show you folks how to climb trees. 2 sets of eyes scrutinized his mental stability. Naruto could see a little grin all over nonetheless. So she has learned it. Obviously, delicate clench hand requires unimaginably exact chakra control. And I hear from Hayashi that Hinata is generally a wonder, ready to shape the style into new, more strange ways, making her significantly more hazardous. Well, since you're all seeing me like I'm insane, I'll simply show you. Naruto strolled towards a tree, his demeanor clear. Damn, I can hardly hold back to see their demeanors. He arrived at the tree and nonchalantly put his left foot on the storage compartment. Then, at that point, the right foot, he gradually rose the tree, utilizing his chakra to climb upward with his hands in his pockets. He arrived at a branch and strolled along the base, and shifted his head up, so he was peering down at the staring articulations of both genin. He, beyond value. Naruto teacher. Hinata provoked up. I definitely know this activity. Gracious truly? Naruto raised an eyebrow. I'm really not shocked. The Hyuga family ace chakra control early in life with the end goal of their delicate clench hand style. In any case, your chakra holds are as yet lacking for natural preparation. Thusly, you will chip away at it by running all over the tree for broadened measures of time. It's the most ideal way to help your stores. Naruto went to the next 2. Utilize your kunai to stamp your advancement. Go. Namake's mansion . Will was perusing the Namake's library for something intriguing to peruse. She had previously completed the initial not many books, named Making Sense of Chakra for Fledglings, The Nuts and Bolts of Ninjutsu, Genjutsu, and Taijutsu, and the Code of the Shinobi. Presently, Will was simply perusing the racks of the Namake's libraries. In spite of the fact that she didn't have any acquaintance with it, Naruto's presentation of chakra into her body had caused an unobtrusive change in her mindset. Before that, learning about 50 distinct approaches to discreetly kill a foe would have disturbed her. Presently, she had no doubts against them. A book on the rack livened her advantage. She got it and perused the title, Prologue to Human Expressions of Torment and Cross-Examination. Naruto took a gander at his genin group, dazzled by their headway. Sasuke was the slowest, just making it 12 feet. Shikamaru wasn't a long ways ahead, with 14 feet. Naruto felt a presence close to him and went to see Itachi remaining close to him. The Uchiha family wonder was, as usual, biting on a stick of Paki. Senpai. He welcomed, Hi, Itachi. Naruto smiled. Is it true that you are practically wrapped up? Definitely. Naruto gestured at him and turned towards his 3 genin. Okay. Enough for now, he called. Shikamaru, Sasuke, and Hinata halted what they were doing and strolled doing him. Sasuke welcomed his sibling who gestured back. Extraordinary work group. Tomorrow will be a similar daily practice. You have Sundays off. You might do what you need or come to me in the event that you experience any difficulty with preparing or need my assistance. Each of the 3 genins gestured and said their farewells. Naruto and Itachi watched them stroll off prior to vanishing in a twirl of leaves and a yellow blaze. Later. Gratitude for taking this task, Itachi. Naruto said as they jumped through the woodland. Forget about it. The least I could do after you saved my life back in the place that is known for lightning. Naruto's lips jerked. You imply that thing with the lightning princess. Would you say you weren't plastered and nearly fooled into wedding her? Itachi frowned. I'd prefer to avoid it, Naruto snickered, as they sped on until they arrived at the grounds of the Namikaze home. Will was spread across a sofa in the lounge, perusing the book she had found. When she heard the entryway open, she hoped to see Naruto stroll in with a young fellow of around 21, with dark hair and onyx eyes. Naruto. Will put the book down and went to embrace him. Hi, Will. Naruto pecked her on the cheek. How was your day? Very great. Taking into account what I realized, you? Not really awful, gracious no doubt. I need to acquaint you with your new teacher. Well, this is Itachi Uchiha. Itachi will Vandom. Joy to meet you. Will shook his hand. Furthermore, you? Itachi gestured. You should be very exceptional to have gotten the attention of my senpai. Gracious, I'm not unreasonably unique. Will become flushed and turned away. I dissent, Naruto mumbled. In a stronger tone, he told Will. Itachi will be here from 8 a.m. to around 5 in the evening. He will train you everything to be familiar with human expressions of shinobi. Cool, says thanks to Itachi. Will grinned. Don't worry about it. Would you like to remain for supper? Naruto raised an eyebrow. Nah, however much I'd very much want to. I really do have plans. Okay then, at that point, see you around. Naruto waved. Supper was flavorful. Naruto had retained in excess of a few recipe books, so he served steak with stacked prepared potatoes. After supper, Naruto and Will were in the front room. When Naruto recognized Will's book lying open, he got it and concentrated on the title with a cocked eyebrow. Prologue to Human Expressions of Torment and Cross-Examination? Naruto read the title with a cocked eyebrow. I didn't figure this intrigued you. You were unable to try and watch a blood and gore flick on the off chance that I recollected accurately. Better believe it, it's kind of abnormal. I saw the book, and out of nowhere I needed to understand it. Will looked into. Naruto, might you at some point tell me the best way to turn into an examiner? Naruto frowned. Indeed, I know the essentials to play out a field cross-examination, yet to turn into a specialist you'll need to converse with the people at the Torment and Cross-Examination office. I would agree that hold on until you've completed your fundamentals preparing with Itachi. Then, at that point, assuming you truly need to, I could ask my companion, Ibiki, to see what you can do. Will gestured. That was a fine split the difference. Kandrakar . You sent Will on a mission without us? It was Will who mentioned this mission, the prophet said. However, she's all alone. Terane dissented. Consider the possibility that something occurs. Then we will be familiar with it. Meanwhile, you, Feedlin, will expect the job as manager of the Corps of Kandrakar, notwithstanding, for a pioneer I have mentioned another person. Why not one of us? Since not a single one of you have the initiative experience important to expect the job. All things considered, the radiance of Meridian will turn into the transitory head of the gatekeepers. Hello, young ladies. Everybody went to see a waving Elian. Elian, no doubt about it. In any case, what might be said about Meridian? Indeed, the chamber's running it for me the present moment. It'll be fine. Time skip . It had been a while. Group 7 was forming into seemingly the best genin group out of the whole graduating class. They had proactively dominated the tree climbing and water strolling works out, and were at that point moving towards their most memorable natural affinities, as well as learning simple ninjutsu. Following a while of being enslaved to the Namikaze Uzumaki preparing system from Heck, most would have agreed that they were essentially mid-chunin level. The person who had advanced the most notwithstanding was one Will Vandom. Itachi pushed Will, covering her nuts and bolts until she was high genin level toward the finish of the primary month. It was during this time that Will had a spat with one Ibiki Marino. A fast word from both Naruto and Itachi persuaded Ibiki to permit Will a shot at TNI. After one more month of temporary job, Ibiki consented to make Will his student. That was all the Hokage expected to hand Will her headband as an authority leaf shinobi. At this point she was low to mid-chunin, generally a wonder. Naruto had been uneasy of Will joining TNI. Earth was a better place from the basic countries and Naruto dreaded Will would break. However, subsequent to seeing one of her meetings under the careful focus of Ibiki, he immediately let those fears go. Will herself wasn't truly okay with the wreck that unavoidably followed, yet Ibiki told her she would ultimately deal with it, plus Will was too immersed in the craftsmanship to withdraw now. Today was very much like some other first day of the month, which generally got going with, "Damn that feline." Getting Tora the feline. The group was remaining inside the workplace. Shikamaru smelled to the sky with an injury on his temple when the feline had hopped on his back, thumping him into a trash bin. Hinata had paw blemishes on her arm. When she had attempted to get the little demon, Sasuke was the most terrible off. His face was an interwoven of scratches. Every one of the three continued shooting passing frowns at their grinning master. "Okay, Group 7. Congrats on nicely done. I'm accepting this is all there is to it? As a matter of fact, elderly person, I might want to demand a mission for my group." The glares escalated, while the Hokage looked befuddled. "Indeed. We should see we have a mission to wipe out the Inuzuka pet hotels, feed the Nara's deer, paint the elderly person." Naruto cut off. "I might want to demand a C rank." Every one of them three took a gander at Naruto in shock. "Naruto?" Irika dissented. "They've just been genin for a couple of months. You couldn't really be pondering having them complete a C rank." "Trust me, Irika," Naruto said sincerely. "I understand what my group are prepared to do, and I realize they aren't stuck between a rock and a hard place." "Great," the Hokage murmured. "I truly do have a mission. It's a straightforward escort mission. You are to accompany a trader convoy. Mission assessment is about a month. The troop leaves in 3 hours." Naruto gestured and went to his group. He could see expectation in their eyes, even those of lethargic Shikamaru. "Pack for an extended mission," he trained. "Use stockpiling seals and keep it light. Meet me outside here in around over 2 hours." Every one of the three genin gestured, and they vanished in a mass of leaves. More than 2 hours later . According to Naruto's directions, the genin kept it light, utilizing just capacity looks to convey their provisions. "Okay, we'll come by ANBU TNI before we head to the doors." "Fail, teacher." Hinata lifted her hand. "For what reason do we need to visit torment and cross-examination? Indeed, I might want to express farewell to my sweetheart before we leave." The genin gazed at him like he'd grown an additional head. "What? Who is your sweetheart, teacher?" Sasuke pondered. "You'll see." Naruto grinned and waved the genin to follow him. Outside ANBU Torment and Cross-Examination Central Command later . Naruto remained before the work area as his group gazed at the environmental elements of the TNI entrance. The secretary turned upward with a cocked eyebrow. "Commander? What are you doing here?" Naruto chuckled. "Sorry, Shinra. This commander resigned some time back." "You? Resigned? That is something I thought I'd never see. I'm expecting that is your genin group then." At that point, "Better believe it. With respect to why I'm here, I'm searching for Will Vandom." Shinra gave him a doubtful look. "Ibiki's understudy? She could do without it when somebody intrudes on her meeting. She can very threaten." "Trust me," Naruto sneered. "She'll make a special case for me, on the off chance that you suspect as much." Shinra went to an ANBU and motioned for her to bring the young lady. There was a abeyance of a few account. A four will appeared with a bang of smoke. She was cutting the accepted ANBU compatible with an ample atramentous covering over it. She didn't accept the affectation yet. Due to the actuality that she was still an apprentice, her easily were bloodied and there was ample specks of claret over her covering and uniform. The Genin's eyes ashamed out aback, they saw that she looked alone 15 or 16. The affronted announcement on her face, abashed to a blaze one aback, she saw Naruto. Naruto! Hey, Will! You're looking messier than usual. Will huffed. Yeah. One of the rookies adulterated up in claiming and I had to footfall in. I would hug you, except I don't anticipate you'd acknowledge claret on your clothes. Will looked at the three Genin. So this is your Genin team? Yep. Sasuke Uchiha, Hinata Hyuga and Shikamaru Nara. Naruto gestured to anniversary of them. Guys, this is Will Vandom, my girlfriend. Pleasure to accommodated you all. Will gave a balmy smile. I was aloof activity to acquaint you that we're activity on our aboriginal C rank. If all goes well, we should be aback by the month's end. I'll absence you. Will leaned advanced to beak him on the lips, anxiously alienated affecting the adolescent Jonin anywhere else. Good luck to you guys. I'd bigger get aback to my abutting victim, honestly. Naruto befuddled his head. You're spending too abundant time about Anko. Probably, as Will anticipation about it, she knew that a few months ago, she would accept looked at all this with shock and revulsion. Now, although she still wasn't adequate with it entirely, she'd abstruse how to cope. Besides, Ibiki had already told her that the best interrogators fabricated the atomic blend possible, and she was additionally demography ancillary training in medical ninjutsu. It would admonition her application the poor men up afterwards. Will open the corpuscle aperture her abutting victim was actuality captivated in. A missing nin that had been bent aback and attempted abduction of a changeable kunoichi in the acreage backfired tremendously. Will abhorred bodies like them. She had from an actual adolescent age. You know, she said casually, I consistently wondered what the best aching way to alter addition would be. She absorbed a brace of decayed shears from the table and watched as the man's eyes widened as he struggled harder to join his bond. Sometimes actuality an interrogator does accept its perks. She thought, a moment later, I apparently accept been spending too abundant time about Anko. So that was your girlfriend? Sasuke wondered. Yep. Isn't she great? She seems a little sadistic. Hinata commented drily. Only in the claiming rooms. Anybody in the ANBU has a barbarous side. Kinda like you in training, sensei? Sasuke aloft an eyebrow. Naruto laughed sheepishly. What could he say? It was true. The merchant band was already at the Arctic Gate. One of the men, Naruto accepted it was the Baton, stepped forward. Are you our protection? We're it. The merchant advised them for a while longer. I've never apparent a four-man genin aggregation before. And where's your sensei? Naruto laughed. I'm the sensei. The merchant's eyes widened, and he was about to beef aback. Naruto cut him off. I'm an aristocratic jonin. I've taken bottom ward a fair allotment of aerial ranked missing nins in my day. Untrained bandits will hardly be an affair here. The merchant looked at them warily, but in the end relented. All right, let's get going. Naruto signaled the genin into position with Naruto demography point. Sasuke and Shikamaru crabbed and Hinata absorption the rear. == 1 week later ==. Well, that was boring, Sasuke muttered. Yeah. Not a distinct brigand in sight, MMM. Naruto was acquisitive for some activity for his team. Like a few bandits would accept sufficed, he had to exceed with them. So what do we do now, sensei? We arch back. I'm starting to absence Will. At Naruto's urging, it took them a day to return. The genin were accustomed the abutting day off to recuperate. == 1 week later ==. Will fingered the chaplet that had been accustomed to her by the oracle. She hadn't anticipation of home in so long. She and her mother weren't absolutely on best terms. Aback she left, however, actuality for so long. She absent her friends. The oracle had accepted that there was a adventitious will wouldn't be advancing back. That was why he had told her that in 2 years, the heart of Kandrakar would be accustomed to a new keeper. She had generally anticipation of returning, but an array of affidavit kept her from leaving. Aboriginal and foremost was Naruto. The adolescent airy boy was the ablaze of her activity during her time in Fadden Hills. He had kept her herself. If he didn't exist, Will would accept been some shy babe with a aplomb affair and abashed with every sentence. Now Naruto was the ablaze of her existence. Seeing him afresh triggered a allotment of her activity that she never capital to let go again. Also, attractive aback at the infinite dimensions now, Will accomplished how she and anybody else was so addled from the truth they had anticipation meridian during Phobos reign was bad. But this fabricated that attending like a paradise actuality there was no bright abstraction of acceptable and evil, the band was so blurred, Will could never go back to actuality aloof a guardian. Not afterwards what she'd done in TNI, Will sighed in apprehension, NBU say tomorrow. She thought, she didn't apperceive why this was aggravation her. She'd done endless sessions afore, oh right, that's right, this time Ibiki won't be there to admonition me along. That wasn't true, she knew. Ibiki would be in the ascertainment platform, celebratory Will, forth with abounding others. Will huffed, she absolutely had a appealing acceptable plan. But this was article she had never approved before. Her victim would be a C-ranked missing neen captured by the ANBU alone a few canicule ago. Tomorrow will be interesting. She anticipation to herself, she had been so absorbed in her thoughts that she didn't apprehension it until a brace of accoutrements amidst her waist. How are you, darling? A low articulation abreast into her ear. Will smiled and snuggled into Naruto's embrace. You're back early, yeah. The mission went afterwards complications. I'm glad. Will grinned, worried about tomorrow? Yeah. It's a big day, you'll do fine. And I'll be watching in case annihilation goes wrong. I apperceive you will. ANBU headquarters. The abutting day . Will went over the book for the man. He was an ex-chunin of the Hidden Rock Village, defected several years ago. He was, for some reason, bent aggravating to access a noble's palace. That in of itself was abundant to accord off suspicions. Fortunately, he was bent in the act by accumulation of ANBU. When she had apparent enough, she bankrupt the book and gave the ANBU a nod. A fore-actuality escorted to the room. It was absolutely as Will had asked it to be set up. A chairs and table to band the captive in with a few tables broadcast throughout for Will to assignment with. She bound apparent her accessories assimilate the table. As she did so, she idly wondered what her company were up to. Heatherfield . And so the chase continues for missing 16-year-old girl, Wilhelmina Vandom. Will had abolished about 8 months ago afterwards what her mother appear as a decidedly bad altercation amid mother and daughter. Police are still baffled as to where. Hey Lin bound angry the TV off. I can't accept she wouldn't alike leave an astral drop when you anticipate about it, Taranay said. Will did accept a absolutely bad altercation with her mother. Do you anticipate we should acquaint her? Cornelia asked. Mrs. Vandom is wreck, and demography some answerability off of her would be nice. All the girls angry to their acting leader. Afterwards a moment, Elian nodded. Let's let her in. ANBU TNI Corpuscle 3A . Bring him in please, Will called. She was dimly acquainted of the bodies from the ascertainment room. The adolescent amateur was dressed in an ANBU compatible forth with the atramentus interrogator's covering and an atramentus wolf affectation to burrow her identity. Ibiki watched with absorption as his amateur set up the room. What's she planning? Naruto aloft in countenance beside him. Hell if I know, Ibiki shrugged. I've never apparent this before. 10,000 Rio says she breach Ibiki's almanac time. one of the ANBU said, abutting to him. You are so on. Will did not apprehension the bets that were actuality placed. Instead, she was absolutely focused back to ANBU shoved the Rockneen into the allowance with the attaché bag over his head. Strap him in. Will gestured to the chair. The ANBU beggared him into the metal armchair, and a pace removed the attaché bag in one yank. The Chunin blinked for a moment of absorption on the amount in advance of him. Will nodded to the ANBU to leave. Well, looks like we accept a little missing Neen case on our hands. Screw you. The man growled, abrupt to join his bonds. Sorry, Will chuckled. But I already accept a boyfriend. Anyways, here's the deal. She plucked a kunai and began to circle it. Since you're acutely actuality so accursed stubborn, let me acquaint you how this works. I ask the questions, you answer. If you don't, there's activity to be a lot of pain. Damn, Anko said from the ascertainment room. This kid's good, definitely smooth. Tell me about it. Down in the cell, Will connected to speak. You may or may not know, but I'm still an apprentice, therefore I'm not actual acceptable at this. However, I do accept an actual adamant nature. I've been told this absolutely a few times. So, what the hell are you arena at? Well, I've got to actor things I've consistently capital to try, so me actuality and apprentice, I'm apparently gonna blow it up, so I'll aloof accept to try it afresh and again, and acutely its activity to be actual painful for you, that is. Up in the ascertainment room, Anko and the ANBU watched in awe. Dear Cammy, this kid's article else. Damn. I anticipate the adulterated aloof wet himself. I like the brat already. Anko gave a barbarous smirk. You accomplished her well. Ibiki? Naruto smiled. She accomplished herself, mostly. I aloof acicular her in the appropriate direction. Down in the claiming room, Will best up a syringe from the table. This is a assumption enhancer, she explained. It enhances your senses by 10 times, including the faculty of pain. The man's eyes widened as he began to attempt futilely adjoin his bonds. Will smirked as she plunged the syringe into the man's arm. Last adventitious to talk. Do it, and I'll inject the antidote. The Chunin clamped his aperture shut. Will sighed. She plucked out 2 kunai from her pouch. Let's see if it works. She twirled the kunai and plunged both into the man's legs. The screams grew louder aback. Will began to run lightning chakra through the kunai. While ageat at the aforementioned time, afterwards 5 minutes, she yanked the kunai out of the legs. Wanna talk now? Don't accomplish me, accomplish it worse. The Chunin glared at Will venomously. She befuddled her head, and abashed to the table and best up a canteen of blooming liquid. This is the appropriate adulteration I've developed from attenuate plants. It triggers the case abroad of bark over the advance of 16 hours. It won't annihilate you, but you'll ambition it had by the time I'm done with you. The man's eyes widened as he began to struggle. Will drew closer, and was about to attempt the aggravate into the man's arm. Aback, he yelled, No, don't. I'll talk. The ascertainment allowance was bashful for a moment. Again a claim bankrupt out. Damn it. She absolutely did it. She exhausted Ibiki's record. 2. Kid abiding is article else. Naruto smiled affectionately at the girl. She had appeared so far. For a moment, Naruto acquainted an agony of guilt. She had been so acquiescently apprenticed not too connected ago. Now she was alive for T&I. Naruto pushed the anticipation aside. Will had capital this. Now he was aloof animated. She had accomplished her goal. Congratulations on authoritative the ANBU. Naruto grinned. Thanks, Naruto. The adolescent brace absolved Duke and Duke through the streets of the Leaf. Naruto, area, are you demography me? Will giggled. You'll see. Naruto smirked. Will did see indeed. They accustomed at a restaurant that looked annihilation like the others in the Leaf. In fact, it looked like one of those adorned restaurants aback in Heatherfield. Mind cogent me what this abode is? Before I larboard Earth, I basically bought every compound book I could lay my easily on, and absolutely to accomplish some profit. One of my colleagues from ANBU has a non-combatant background. His dad absolutely owns a rather acclaimed restaurant, so I approached him with an action to accessible a restaurant confined alien foods. He agreed, so I was fabricated allotment buyer of it. While his ancestors endemic the rest, they absolved through the able-bodied lit doorways to the accession table. The hostess bound ushered them into a clandestine room. It had a firelit clear chandelier blind from the roof. There was a broiler at the far end with a table for two at the center of the allowance lit by candles. There was a canteen Cabernet on the table. Wow, this is nice. Will abreast as they sat down. Will skimmed through the card and absentatively on the prime rib with red wine augment sauce, while Naruto ordered the filleted trout with mango salsa. The aide caked anniversary of them a canteen of Cabernet and abrupt out the door. So, congratulations on your promotion, thanks. You helped me a lot, you know. Do you absence them? Naruto aback asked. Who? Your ancestors and a company from Earth. Naruto looked at her. Don't you absence them? Well, Will absently sipped her glass. I do absence them a lot actually, but I anticipate it'd be a little too backward to go aback now. Why is that? Naruto looked confused. Will placed a duke on his. Because your aggregate I'll anytime want, and I couldn't anytime accomplish you leave this village. Naruto looked at Will for a abashed moment. Again smiled. Thanks, Will. He took her duke and kissed it gently. Besides, new ancestry aren't consistently a bad thing. Naruto smiled and aloft his wine glass. To new beginnings, Will's canteen met his in a bendable clang. To new beginnings, equals the abutting morning equals. Why the hell not? A accustomed articulation shouted from oral the mission appointment as aggregation 7 approached it. Because you're not accessible to booty a C rank. A firm but feminine articulation declared in acknowledgement to the outburst. Opening the aperture to the mission office, Aggregation 7 was greeted by the afterimage of Kiba shouting at his sensei, while anybody abroad in the allowance looked at him as if he were a complete idiot. Naruto austere his throat slightly, accepting the absorption of the Hokage. Team 7 requesting C rank. The Hokage nodded and looked into the pile. Well, let's see. How about this? A simple C rank escort to the land of waves. Naruto nodded. We'll booty it. What? How the hell do they get a C rank and we don't? Stop shouting, Kiba. Sakura growled at him. She angry to Sasuke and became goggle-eyed. Hi, Sasuke. You charge be absolutely alarming to be able to booty a C rank. Sasuke resisted the appetite to groan. Again attempt his snickering teammates the Uchiha death glare TM. Okay? Children. Achieve down. 3 glares angry appear their sensei. Naruto promptly abandoned them. Kurenai, I haven't apparent you in a while. How are you? Kurenai's aperture twitched. Polite as ever. I see, Naruto, I'm fine. Acknowledge you for your concern. I see your aggregation is advancing forth absolutely well. But are you abiding they are able to handle C ranks, alike if article were to go wrong? Naruto smirked. Oh, accept me. They will. I've been putting them through the Namikaze Uzumaki training regime from hell. Kurenai winced. She absolutely acquainted apologetic for the 3 kids that had asthmatic up as Naruto's genin team. Well, aggregation 10. The Hokage disconnected them. We do accept the accumulation of D ranks. Which one would you like? Kiba was about to arrest a back ablaze from Kurenai. Shut him up. Will booty the baby-minding mission acknowledge you? The Hokage handed them an annal and aggregation 10 absolved out. Kiba cutting glares at aggregation 7. Abnormally the ridiculously adolescent sensei. The Hokage sighed. Now that that's taken affliction of aggregation 7, your mission is to escort the Archbuilder, Tazuna, to the land of waves. Again assure him for the continuance of the activity until its completion. Mission will be advised as a mid-C rank. Now, accelerate in the client. An old man cutting baby annular glasses, a conical harbinger hat and amber clothes entered the room, with a canteen of account in one hand. What? Is this some affectionate of joke? I assassin ninja and instead I get a agglomeration of brats? They attending like little academy children. Abnormally the one with the duck-ass haircut. Sasuke began to beat while Naruto sighed. Oh boy, I'll kill you. Naruto's Duke attempt out an effective the boy's collar. Carriage him into the air. No, Sasuke, he said in chastising tone. We do not annihilate the client, Tazuna, the Hokage said. You're advantageous for a C rank, not a B or an A rank, but a C rank. Article these are added than able of ambidextrous with. I don't know, Tazuna grumbled. Tazuna, Naruto batten up. As the Hokage said, you are advantageous for a C-ranked mission, which entails aegis from bandits. Article my aggregation is altogether able of handling, and admitting my appearances and age, I am an aristocratic jonin for a reason. You accept no charge to abhorrence anything. Well, I suppose you'll accept to do, Tazuna grumbled. Excellent. We'll accommodated you at the Obwado in an hour. Naruto angry to his team. Pack for about 2 months. In an association he said to them, and accompany your weapons. Article about this guy smells fishy. == leaf apple west Obwado. 1 hour later == It will booty us about 3 canicule to get to wave, Naruto said to the aggregation at the gates. So if we appetite to accomplish acceptable time, let's arch out. I'll booty point while Shikamaru and Sasuke abut him on either side. Hinata takes rear guard. Anybody ready? Again, let's arch out. The accumulation traveled for the aboriginal few hours in about ease. There were no disturbances on their journey, however, afterwards walking for a few miles, Naruto spotted a dabble on the bend of the road. Seems like we accept trouble, hopefully they apprehension it, too. It seemed that they did. 3 pairs of eyes angry to Naruto, who nodded boring and gestured with his eyes bottomward to his hand. All 3 genin looked to see their sensei signal, reverse formation. Hinata sped up, with the braggadocio of authoritative chat with Tazuna. Naruto accidentally fell aback to the rear, as anon as the aggregation anesthetized the puddle. A brace of buried, cutting respirator masks aloft up out of the puddle. They answerable appear the 4. Get the arch-builder. One of the growled, Tazuna angry, and let out a cry of alarm. They had fabricated it halfway. A tri-pronged kunai impacted the boilerplate of the chain, pinning them in position. Additional later, Shikamaru was in advance of the arch-architect in a resting position with the Atramentus Ninjato in advance of him, while Sasuke and Hinata were charging. Sasuke had a longer than boilerplate Chikudo with the Atramentus handle. The brand was run through with lightning. Hinata had a brace of Tanto with lavender handles with boot abbreviate tassels extending from the hilt. Wind chakra was active through the blades. Sasuke aimed his Chikudo in a bottomward cut. Disengagement the chain, he spun upwards, ramming the brand upwards into the chin, killing him instantly. Brother! The additional one cried. He had no time to acknowledge as Hinata's Tanto begin their mark. One came bottomward into the man's gauntlet hand. While the added traveled into the man's neck, he was asleep before he knew it. Naruto looked at the asleep bodies. Good assignment all of you. You did actual able-bodied for your aboriginal absolute action with Shinobi. All 3 nodded their thanks. While the genins bankrupt their weapons, Naruto abashed forward, and in one abrupt movement, decapitated the heads. He bankrupt them up into scrolls and austere their bodies with a low-powered blaze jutsu. Now then, Tazuna. Naruto angry his eyes to the arch-builder. The old man was affianced and abode by the anesthetic circular, achromatic abject pattern. I accept you owe us an explanation. Why were 2 C-ranked missing targeting you on what was declared to be a C-ranked low-accident escort mission? Aye. The arch-architect sighed. Fine then. There is a alarming man afterwards me. His name is Gato. Gato. Naruto aloft in countenance in surprise. The aircraft magnate? Yes, the man is a able administrator for sure, but beneath the surface, he is one of the big shots in the underworld, ambidextrous through bribery, browbeating, and blackmailing. A little over a year ago, he came to the land of waves, application his abundance to booty absolute ascendancy of our aircraft industries. Anyone who was in his way was murdered. This is why he is threatened by me. I am the adept arch builder, and already the arch is finished. It will affix us to the acreage and ultimately breach his control. But that still doesn't explain why you hid the accuracy from us. Naruto looked at the arch-architect intently. Because of Gato's control, the land of waves is a poor nation. Anybody has so little money. No one could allow a B-ranked mission. This was all that I could pay for. I accept that. Naruto looked at him. But the ambit of the mission has afflicted completely. This is no best oral our control. This mission has best acceptable been escalated to an A rank. Not article beginning genin are fabricated to handle. Well, I accept you're in your rights to carelessness me. It's aloof that I'll apparently be assassinated. And my grandson will be at home apprehensive aback his grandfathering will appear home. Oh, and my babe will be cursing the ninja of the leaf, blaming you all for it, and alive the blow of your activity and sorrow. But I assumption all that is none of your concern. All three genin sweat dropped, Naruto about aloft an eyebrow. Well, that would be my concern, however. What's additionally my affair is the actuality that if I were to accelerate these three, Naruto gestured at his team, on a mission that they are acutely not accessible for, and one of them were to say, oh, I don't know, die, how, adjure tell, would I be able to explain it to their parents or ancestors of the affairs of their deaths? Tazuna opened and bankrupt his aperture several times, again afraid his head, dejected. However, Naruto continued, I cannot, in acceptable conscience, carelessness a country in need, therefore, I will let my genin decide. There was a moment of silence, afore Hinata batten up. I anticipate we should do it, sensei. Yeah, Sasuke nodded. We can't aloof leave innocent bodies to suffer. Troublesome, Shikamaru muttered. But I'm with them, Naruto nodded. Very well, but a mission change will additionally charge the approval of the Hokage, and hopefully added reinforcements will affect it aloof off the alley while I accelerate chat to him. Hinata, acquisition a acceptable abode to effect it and set up. I appetite either you or Sasuke on watch at all times. Hinata nodded. The three genins led the arch-architect into the backwoods while Naruto sat bottomward and bound drafted a message. Aback he was accomplished, he took that annal and bankrupted into a beyond annal with the active of the demon brothers. He bit his thumb, cartoon blood, and swiped it beyond his palm. Summoning jutsu. There was a baby bang of smoke. In advance of Naruto was a baby orange toad. Yo, Naruto? It saluted. What can I do for you? Listen carefully, Gamamaru. I accept an important mission for you. Naruto handed the toad the scroll. Take this to the Hokage, he said. He'll apperceive what to do next. == 3 hours later == All four of them were sitting at the campsite. Naruto was idly twirling a kunai back. He sensed two accustomed chakra signatures approaching. Sensei. Hinata absorbed her tanto. Apparently she had sensed it too. Shikamaru and Sasuke stiffened, both clutching their corresponding weapons. A duke arresting from Naruto told them both to angle down. Tazuna angry to see two abstracts bound out of the timberline line. One was an adolescent boy dressed in Atramentus armor that looked like he was an ANBU. The additional was a babe with abbreviate red beard who looked about 16, in an Atramentus coat, over what additionally appeared to be ANBU armor. He was afraid aback. The babe ran up to hug Naruto. Will, acceptable to see you. Naruto kissed her briefly, and angry to Itachi. I'm academic, you two are our backup. Itachi nodded. The Hokage got your message. He angry to Sasuke? Nice job, Sasuke. The Hokage's application you and Hinata anniversary, a compensation for demography bottom ward the 2C-ranked missing Nin. Sasuke ablaze beneath the praise. Big brother, why absolutely are you here? Itachi grimaced. I bear to get away. Mum's on a warpath. And it's that time of year too. Alike dad had to booty a mission abroad from the apple for abhorrence of her wrath. Sasuke and Naruto winced. Makoto's agitated affection swings were article to break the hell abroad from. She wasn't ANBU captain for nothing. So, Will? Naruto looked at the babe still in his arms. Don't you accept duties at TNI or something? Oh, I did. Will nodded. But things except been activity appealing apathetic these days. So I was able to booty some time off. Anko's administration my accoutrement for me. The Hokage has accustomed the assiduity of the mission. Itachi abreast them. The applicant will be billed later. Naruto will accept all-embracing command. Out of all of us, he is the best chief member. Naruto nodded and began to ample both the ninjas in on the situation. Gato, you say? Itachi said, acclamation his jaw. Intelligence has letters of him ambience up cartels all over the elemental nations. We can use this adventitious to stop him then, Will said. Naruto nodded. Exactly what I was thinking. That night . Naruto sat by the affected blaze idly twirling a kunai. Couldn't sleep, Itachi? Adumbration came over him as Itachi effective to accompany him. How the hell do you do that? I can never bastard up on you. Naruto chuckled. Please, Itachi. I've been in the ANBU for as connected as I could remember. Forgive me if my abilities haven't gotten lax. And I'm academic. Your thoughts are surrounding a assertive amethyst-haired, cat-masked ANBU. Itachi sighed. Senpai. Except you any time had this activity that you've acquainted so able you couldn't alike get the words out? Yeah, once, Naruto said. Absolutely straight-faced. Most admirable brand I've any time seen. I was so aghast edition abroad bought it, man. I affirm old man Higurashi was bedlam his ass off. Real funny. Senpai. Itachi formed his eyes. Naruto laid a duke on her above student's shoulder. My admonition is to appear clean. If it doesn't assignment out, again maybe she isn't the appropriate one for you.